Story time. In this video, I'm going to tell you the story of how I got myself to be insanely comfortable talking to drop dead gorgeous women and how you can follow the same steps that I used through a discovery process of trial and error so that you can soon be able to talk to gorgeous women while staying relaxed, calm, and playful. Now, the story I'm about to tell you is what eventually led me to landing my dream girl. I have been with my dream girl now for 8 years. Over the past 12 years, I've helped hundreds of men attract, date, and keep their dream girls. This channel is dedicated to helping you get your dream girl. We're not interested in just attracting average women. I know you know how to do that. In my opinion, if you can just attract average women, you still don't have game. Personally, for me, if all I could do was attract women that I wasn't truly into, I'd rather just stay home and masturbate. So what we're talking about on this channel is how to get the women you truly want and nothing less. I can look you in the eye and honestly tell you after 8 years of being with my dream girl, I still have a huge crush on my own girl. And that's what I want for you. Now, let's get to the story. I was wanting to attract the kind of women that I truly wanted and I didn't want to settle. So I was going out there and I was talking to a lot of women. I was picking up some women and they were okay, but they weren't the drop dead gorgeous girls that I really wanted. You know, when you go around your city and you see a girl pass by and you're just like, oh my God, just let me have her and I can die happy. So I wasn't getting those women. I was just getting the women that were kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, she's okay, but it's not what I really wanted. So I asked myself, okay, what do I need to do in my game? What do I need to change in my game to go from getting, just those average women to getting the women I truly wanted? So I observed my behavior. What I used to do when I was going out is I'd go to a party and I would sit back and I would look around. Okay, who's in the room? Okay, most of these girls I'm not attracted to, but there's like one or two or three that I'm attracted to. And I was thinking at that time, okay, well, if I want to get the women that I truly want, I need to go and talk to those specific women, even though they intimidate me. So what I would do is I would wait all night and wait for that perfect moment and psych myself up. And finally, when I had enough courage, I would say, okay, fine, let me go. And then I would go and I would talk to these girls. But I would mess up the interactions because I was nervous, I was awkward, I was intimidated by them. And basically, I didn't make a good first impression, which caused these women to not feel much attraction for me. So when I was contemplating, okay, what am I doing wrong here and how can I land these beautiful women? I identified a major mistake I was making. The first major mistake I was making was this. Throughout the whole night, I wasn't talking to any women, and then I was only talking to the 1, 2, or 3 women that I was really attracted to. Well, that strategy has some flaws in it. Flaw number 1 is when I was only talking to 1, 2, or 3 women a night, I was missing out on a ton of practice. Number 2, if I hadn't been talking to anyone the whole night, then I didn't have any social momentum. So when I would walk up to these girls, I wasn't socially warmed up. It's like you're starting from zero, your engine is cold, and then you're trying to go to 100 kilometers an hour. Well, the engine is still not warm. So I would go up there and I would be fumbling across my words because I had been silent the whole day or that whole night. So I realized the combination of these two factors was very bad and it was not going to get me where I wanted to go. So I made a modification in my game. Modification number 1 was this. When I go out of my house even, I'm just going to start talking to everybody. Why? Because I want to accumulate social momentum. I want to get into the momentum of socializing with human beings throughout the day so that by the time I walk up to that drop dead gorgeous angel, I'm warmed up, I'm in the flow, I've got that momentum, and so now she's just another person that I'm talking to throughout that day. So I want you to think about this. How smooth are you gonna be if she's the first girl you talk to that day versus how smooth are you gonna be if she's the 15th person you talk to that day. So that's the first modification I did. So then I started going out. And when I would go out, instead of just sitting there all night looking for only the 2 or 3 hot girls to talk to and then not talking to anyone else, I started talking to everybody. I'm talking to the bouncer. I'm talking to the hostess. I'm talking to the dude ordering his beer. I'm talking to these older women. I'm talking to these girls who I'm not attracted to. I'm talking to these girls who I'm sort of attracted to. I'm talking to everyone. And then finally, I'm all warmed up. That ball is rolling. That momentum is going. Boom. And then I go talk to that drop dead gorgeous angel. And now when I show up, I'm a lot smoother. I'm a lot more in flow. I'm a lot more spontaneous and confident. And I feel a lot more natural. And because I'm in this momentum, she feels, okay, this is just a social guy who's talking to everybody. And now he's talking to me. Then women, these drop dead gorgeous women, started responding to me in a lot more of a positive way. And I started getting attraction from these women. So the next part of the system was this. So it's not like I just talked to 15 people in one day and then I went and I talked to that super hot girl and then I got the super hot girl. That's not how it went. It actually took time. It took weeks and months. Here's what you need to understand. In order for you to get comfortable talking to insanely beautiful women, you need to get used to talking to these insanely beautiful women. So this is where honest hard work and practice comes in. I told myself, okay, Jad, for the next 3 months, don't even expect to get any of these drop dead gorgeous angels. Just get used to talking to them. And so the more I would talk to these women, the more relaxed I became. The more experience I had talking to these drop dead gorgeous angels, the more relaxed I became. And then eventually I just became totally cool and relaxed around these drop dead gorgeous girls. And now they could see, oh, this guy seems like he's very used to talking to gorgeous girls. Oh, this guy's not losing his shit like everybody else loses their shit when they talk to me. He must be really used to talking to women at my caliber. And when a woman recognizes that you're the kind of man who's used to talking to that kind of woman, to that quality and that level of hotness, and you're just kind of laid back, cool, chill, and you're just acting like a regular normal guy around her, that's when she starts connecting with you. That's when she's like, okay, this is my kind of guy. Now, let me drop a bonus tip here for you in this video. One thing I say is that one of the most underrated skills of a seducer is the ability to act like a regular, normal guy while talking to gorgeous women. Let's say that again. One of the most underrated skills as a seducer is your ability to act regular, like a regular, normal dude while talking to a drop-dead gorgeous angel. You see, the mistake a lot of guys make when they're talking to a really hot woman is they act different. They put on a show, they put on an act, and the woman can see that. And the second the woman sees that from the guy, immediately she thinks, oh, this guy isn't used to getting hot girls like me, so he's not in my league, and then she puts a metaphorical X on that guy. Conversely, then a guy like me who comes in, who has been putting in the honest effort over a period of months and even years of talking to drop dead gorgeous women, and then I come in and I'm just acting like a normal guy. I'm not doing anything weird. I'm not trying to, do anything weird or any routines or anything. And she's just like, oh, this guy's just normal and chill. Then she's like, okay, this guy's on my level. He can be a potential mate. My brother, the reason I tell you this story is for this. I know that you're sick of not attracting the exact women you want. In order for you to attract the women you truly want, number one is you have to go and actually talk to those women and stop avoiding them. Number two, you have to be willing to go through the clumsiness phase of 3 to 6 months where you're going to be fumbling over yourself every time you talk to them because you're just so nervous. And you just got to put in the honest hard work until you start feeling relaxed and calm around them. Now, this is not going to happen online. So all of this whole story I told you, I did it in person exclusively. You cannot shortcut this. The only way to get comfortable around women, it can only be earned. It cannot be bought. So if you're thinking, I'm going to try to shortcut this, I'm going to try to do it online instead of offline, it doesn't work. You need to experience it in its fullness in real life. You need to go out there, socialize 2 or 3 days a week for months on end until talking to these drop dead gorgeous girls doesn't make you lose your shit. So it's got to be earned, brother. There's no way around it. The only way there is through. While one man hesitates because he feels inferior, the other man is busy making mistakes and becoming superior. Do you know what allowed me to master this game? Do you know why I have my dream girl and you don't? It's because I was willing to get embarrassed more than you were. I was willing to face rejection and looking like an idiot more than you were. And because I failed with the hottest women more than you did, that's why I've been now blessed to get a series of drop dead gorgeous women in my life. That shit is earned. I never said it was easy, and I never said that I did not pay a high price in money, time, and effort in exchange to get these beautiful women. I did. So let's talk about approach anxiety for a second. It is not lost on me that perhaps your biggest challenge is actually getting yourself to move your legs and go talk to these women. That's where coaching comes in. If you've been paralyzed in your prison of fear for 2 years or more, unable to go and approach women consistently enough that you can start building up this skill of the game, then you need a coach. What a coach does is he gives you a different perspective, frameworks, and mindsets that allow you to escape the prison of fear. Let me go back to my story. One of my biggest struggles in the game was actually overcoming approach anxiety, breaking free from the prison of fear. And over the years, I finally discovered how to overcome this wretched opponent called fear. So what would happen a lot of times is I would hype myself up. I would promise myself that I'm going to go and approach. I would get mad. I would do all that stuff. But when it came time to actually do it, my mind would always outmaneuver me and end up convincing me not to go. And then I would go home, and every time I was just like, fuck, it outsmarted me again. Here's what I discovered. You can never outsmart the mind. The mind knows the exact things to tell you in the moment to get you to hesitate and procrastinate. It has its moves. Well, here's the analogy I realized. Well, first of all, before that, eventually I learned what the mind's moves were, and I created frameworks to counter those moves so that even though I felt fear in the moment, I was able to overcome my mind and go consistently approach the women I wanted to approach. But that took years of trial and error and disappointment and pain. So the reason you hire a coach is so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And I will tell you how to supersede your mind and make sure it doesn't conquer you every time you want to go and talk to a girl. So I think of it like jujitsu. If you're just starting jujitsu and you're wrestling, they call it rolling, okay? If you're rolling with an opponent and that opponent is experienced, he's always going to submit you, right? He's always going to submit you. Why? Because you don't know the moves. Your opponent is a black belt. He knows all the moves. Well, if you keep going and rolling and rolling and rolling in jiu-jitsu over and over and over, eventually you become the black belt. Now you know all the moves. And when someone rolls with you, you submit them because you know the moves. The moves are finite. Similarly, when you go out in the game and you try to approach women, fear, your opponent, this opponent called fear, has a finite amount of moves. And every time you're going out to approach women, it's submitting you. It's putting its moves on you, and you're not understanding how to overcome those moves. And so it's submitting you, and then the submission is in the form of paralysis, and then you don't go for what you want, and then you go home and feel like shit, and quite honestly, sometimes like, oh, I just want to end it, dude. Like, life sucks. Okay? So I understand the pain. So where I'm at now is I'm the black belt jujitsu in terms of the game, where fear still puts its moves on me, but I'm a black belt in this area, and so I know fear's moves, so I switch it around. It doesn't submit me, and I go and I talk to those drop dead gorgeous girls. So in my coaching, what I teach you are those moves that took me 10 years plus to learn and master. These moves are proven frameworks that have worked not only for myself, but for hundreds of men all around the world. All my clients who hire me and use these moves escape from the prison of fear. Not some, all. Just like every person who's going to stick to jujitsu and go to all the lessons and learn all the moves will eventually become black belt and not get submitted all the time. Same thing with my students, same thing with me. When you know these moves to overcome your fear of approaching gorgeous women, you will overcome them all the time. There are a finite amount of moves. So you have two choices. You can go out there and waste your time reinventing the wheel and trying to discover how to overcome fear and fear's moves, or you can hire me. I can give you those frameworks and you can be off to the races quickly. All the men who hire me have the following mindset. I'm here to give you mindsets of winners. You know what winners do? They tell me, look, Jad, I'm a busy guy. I'm focused on my career. I'm focused on my life. I want to make the most out of my youth and my time. So I'm not going to waste time reinventing the wheel. I know you figured it out. I'm going to hire you so that you can give me all the answers, all the frameworks, and the customized plan. So if you're a successful man who values his time and values speed over money, that's when you hire a coach to give you the answers instead of going out there wasting your life reinventing the wheel. Personally, for me, when I mentioned that I put in time, money, and effort into this game, part of the reason why I was able to consistently get gorgeous girlfriends is because I also threw money at this problem. I hired mentors, I went to seminars, I went to boot camps. I've also invested in business mentorship. I throw money at my problems because I value my time and my youth above everything else. Money is cheap. Money burns. Money loses its value. Money is nothing. Money, you can make money out of nothing. So, money is nothing. Your time is what's valuable. So, I'll leave you with this. My mission for you is I help successful men attract, date, and keep their dream women. If you're at the point where you want a girlfriend or a wife that you're insanely attracted to, that's what I'm here to help you with. Understand this, coaching never fits your timeline or your budget. Nobody ever has, oh, I just have this extra money for coaching that I didn't know what to do with. No, you need to become resourceful. Okay, it's not about having the resources, it's about being resourceful to come up with the resources. So coaching never fits your timeline, it's never the right time, and you never just have that extra money laying around. It's about making a commitment to get this part of your life handled because you tell the truth to yourself that this is goddamn important and you've already wasted enough of your life and it's time to get this handled. And the final thing that stops guys from reaching out for help is the feeling like they're almost there. They almost got it figured out. Jad, I wanted to hire a coach, but you know what? I almost got it figured out. So I'm not going to hire a coach yet because I think I'm going to figure it out in the next month, 2 months, 3 months. So I'm almost got it. Didn't you feel like you almost had it figured out last year and the year before that? That's the devil's trick to keep you stuck and keep you from your dreams. And I'll leave you with this. You're letting your excuses kill your dreams. You know what's more dangerous than an excuse? A good excuse. So, you have a lot of good excuses why you're not hiring a mentor to fix this, even though you've been suffering for years. But just as an observer from the outside who's seen hundreds of thousands of people pass through my channel, the guys who stay stuck for more than 2 years and don't hire a mentor, I see them 3, 5, 7 years later and they're pretty much in the same spot. So all these great reasons why you're not hiring a mentor, even though you've been stuck for 2 years or more, I just want to tell you, you're not extra intelligent, you're not a unique snowflake, and your excuses are the most common ass motherfucking excuses that every failure uses. So you're just being a common ass motherfucker. You're not being intelligent. Intelligent people hire mentors to solve their problems, and they save their time, not their money. That's what I did. If you want to get the results I got, do the same things I did. In closing, I believe that you can get your dream woman or dream women. The only thing standing between you and what you want is a definite commitment. The reason I mastered this game is because I looked myself in the mirror and I said, I'm going to do whatever it takes and pay whatever price to get this handled. So help me God if it's the last thing I do. Make that definite commitment, pay whatever price life asks of you, and I promise you, you will be sleeping next to a beautiful angel very soon.